Hello, welcome back to Speaking Spurs. Me, Kieran, talking all things Tottenham. Tonight we're talking about the 2-0 victory in the Premier League over Brighton that keeps our top four hopes alive just. It's also a night where we see Arsenal toppled 2-0 also by Liverpool in the Premier League. So that is their first slip up with their games in hand. And this victory puts us in a very good place going in against West Ham at the weekend. If we beat them, that helps us leapfrog them. And on level games, we would also leapfrog Manchester United to go on to 51 points. But we've got to break that streak of win-loss, win-loss, win-loss in the Premier League. If we're going to continue that vein of form, that does mean we're going to lose the game at the weekend. Hopefully we can turn things around because it's just been a crazy season in terms of form. But yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. The 2-0 victory over Brighton. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to support the video with a like. And please, please, please leave your comments below to continue the conversation about Spurs. Why this is also a special night for, not really for us, on a personal level for Harry Kane. He now becomes the Premier League's highest away goal scorer. So he scored his 95th goal from 139 away games. That's absolutely crazy. So when you look at the people he's compared with, he's overtaken Wayne Rooney, who got 94 away goals in 243 games. Alan Shearer, 87 in 219. Lampard, 85 in 305. Andy Cole, 83 goals in 206 games. So it just goes to show how elite this guy is when he plays away. It was crazy. And his goal came about, he was played through wonderfully by Bentancur just before the hour mark in a classic counter-attack. He slotted our second goal of the evening past Robert Sanchez as we broke. And just another record for this guy. He's getting closer and closer to Alan Shearer. He's still got some way to go for that one though, but you know, brilliant. It was slightly marred a little bit where they checked it for offside. He was clearly on. Brighton had felt aggrieved just before that they hadn't been awarded a penalty for the handball, but VAR deemed that Højbjerg was way too close to the ball when it hit him, so it wasn't enough for a penalty. And we'd gone ahead just before half-time as well, and what was a fairly quiet first half with a few bizarre moments throughout it. Sonny laid the ball off for Kulusevski, and his low effort, just from the edge of the area, went through the packed area and it deflected off Christian Romero and going past the rooted Sanchez. Despite knowing little about it, the goal was given to Romero for his first goal for the club since joining back in August. Kulusevski could have actually made it two shortly after when he pounced on an error from Shane Duffy, but Sanchez was out quickly to smother the effort from Kulusevski. In fact, I thought Sanchez in goal did fairly well at times, actually. He come out and made a few saves, put our forwards and wing-backs under pressure, although he did make a howler himself. He was almost made to pay for that clanger. He come out of his box to clear a back pass. Harry Kane was lurking. And the touch from Harry Kane in the block just took it a bit too far out for him. And that ball then trickled away from the goal. At the other end, Bentancur almost gifted Brighton the opener as well. He blasted the ball towards his own goal from 35 yards out as he attempted to challenge a Brighton player, but it looped safely onto the top of Hugo Lloris's goal for an unthreatening corner. Brighton's best chances came of their own making in a fast start to the second half. Inside 2 minutes, Cucurella, his fierce cross was just too far ahead of McAllister. Duffy then tried to nod Pascal Gross corner towards goal, but Lloris collected. And then after Kane's goal, there were a few more half chances for Brighton, really. Cucurella sent in another fizzing cross from the left. No one to turn it home again. Mopai waited too long inside the Spurs area, and we managed to clear. Plenty of shouts for penalties as the Brighton striker splayed on the floor, but again, nothing given. Kane nearly made it 3 late on too as he squared up against Sanchez once again, but this time it was palmed away. So it sees us climb into 7th, 3 points from Arsenal in 4th, who lost 2-0 obviously. Brighton actually ended the game with no shots on target, and their 6th successive Premier League defeat, which means they remain in 13th place. If you were watching the game, if you managed to get it anywhere, I was lucky enough to be watching it, you might see some pictures circulating if you didn't watch the game of Kane kicking a bottle of Coca-Cola in celebration. Yeah, it was. It looks quite funny actually. There's just Coca-Cola going everywhere. But yeah, man of the match had to go to Harry Kane. Another top performance from the Spurs striker. He's certainly hitting the ground now, flourishing under Conte, and then making history once again. So when you make history, you kind of gotta give the man of the match to the man of the moment. So what did he have? He had six shots, 7 touches in the opposition box. He also made the most dribbles of 5 in the game. He was involved in 14 duels as he continues to write his name in the history books. So let's just have a look at a few of the stats from the game. We finished it with 52% possession. We actually had a lower duel success rate than Brighton on 46.8%. 50-50 on aerial duels. Interceptions, we made 8, 1 offside and 3 corners. So our last 16 matches in all competitions have seen an even split between win and defeats that we know. So 8 of each, no draws. It's absolutely crazy. So that's that. We'll go through the player ratings now. It was for me. I'm happy that we're managing to pick points up on the road. I feel like that's very important, especially against a team like Brighton. We know what they're like under Graham Potter. They tend to create chances. Their biggest problem, obviously, is not having anyone on the end of those chances. And it was kind of the case again from them, which is always good news for us. But let's talk about the guys now. So Hugo Lloris in goal comes away with his usual 6 because he had nothing to do. No shot to save at all throughout the game. Christian Romero comes away with an 8. Right place at the right time to deflect the Kulusevski shot into the back of the net. Yeah, so that's his first goal for the club. Not sure he knew too much about it though. He made some good interceptions at the back. Picked up a yellow card, as he does. They're starting to mount up quite quickly. Moving on to Eric Dyer. He comes away with an 8 as well. Took a massive whack in the head early on that required treatment. He then had a bandage on his head for the rest of the game. He made plenty of important blocks and tackles though, throwing himself about. So taking the whack on the head did not alter anything for him whatsoever. Davies comes away with an 8 as well. So all centre-backs coming away with 8. Solid display from him. Terrific last gasp tackle to stop a Brighton attack in our Spurs box at a crucial moment. Doherty, not the best game for him, I'd say. Only comes away with a 5 from me. Not many chances to attack. He defended well down his flank before coming off in the final 10 minutes, but didn't really do anything to set the world alight. On the other side, Reguilon, he gets a 6. Some sloppy moments, but also some decent defensive moments. Wasted a big attacking opportunity, though, when he put through Kane again late on and Sanchez saved both. Then in the centre, Højbjerg gets a 7. His tackle was the one that started the move for our second goal. Another good mopping up display in the centre of pitch throughout the game. Bentancur, he gets an 8. Made a surging drive before grabbing an assist with his ball into the path of Kane. He was calming, but a bustling presence in the midfield for Spurs. So yeah, an 8 for him. Kulusevski, he gets a 7. He's becoming fairly consistent, enjoying watching him play. It was the low shot from him that obviously deflected off Romero. He should have done better with a one-on-one chance with the keeper when his low shot was saved. He ran back well to interfere with Brighton's attack to help start the break for Spurs' second goal. And he's always looking to create. He shows invention. Really impressive him. He settled in really well. And then, yeah, as I've already said, Harry Kane, man of the match. So he comes away with an 8. He closed down Sanchez in the opening minutes for that, the block clearance that rolled to his left foot, but then put a shot across the face of goal. He made no mistake in the second half when he timed his run perfectly from that ball from Bentancur and buried the shot to make it 14 goals in 19 games now. So he's on a nice little run. Probably at the perfect time for us in the season. Sprayed a perfectly weighted ball into the path of Reguilon for another big Spurs chance. Tested Sanchez later on with a curling effort from outside the box before the end of normal time. Although at the time when I saw him running through, I was actually hoping he was going to push the ball out wide to Kulusevski and then Kane to make a dart and run into the box and finish it off. But you know what Kane's like. He saw the opportunity and went for it. He then put Reguilon through for another chance with a great ball in the final moments. Sonny comes away with a 6. He teed up Kulusevski in the build-up to the first half goal that deflected off Romero. Worked hard in getting back a lot, but struggled to make an impact going forward as the game wore on, and he came off with just over 10 minutes to go. Then the substitutes. So Lucas Moura came on to replace Son in the final 10 minutes, but he didn't really offer much. Comes away with a 5. Emerson Royale also came on. He gets a 6. He actually brought a little bit of thrust to his little cameo, and his last couple of appearances off the bench have been a bit poor, really, so it was better from him. And then Bergwijn, can't really give him a score. He came on late in added time. So, a win, as we expected, on our win-loss journey at the moment. But yeah, big game coming up for us in terms of the race for top 4. And we really need to start putting ourselves in a position to separate ourselves from the rest of them, because we're all losing points. We've seen Arsenal do it now. So that game is coming up against West Ham, Sunday, 20th of this month, at 4 p.m. on the telly. Sky Sports for a 4:30 kickoff. Massive game. The key to this one is we are playing at home. We do that. I have that on our side. So, you know, crowd have got to get behind the players. You're going to have to push it for the whole game. It's absolutely massive, this one. Are we going to do the win-loss? Are we going to lose this game? Like, I sure hope not. And we haven't got the time in between to recover the way we would want to. But at some point, we're going to have to break this win-loss. And we need to be putting pressure on the boys around us. You know, West Ham have obviously come off the back of a decent performance for them as well. So they're going to be gunning for this. It's probably going to be one of the better games to watch from a neutral perspective against West Ham than there's been in a while, because there's so much on the table in this season still left to go. And with Arsenal now starting to, I mean, obviously it was Liverpool, and Liverpool need to put the pressure on Manchester City. But, you know, yeah. I think things are really. It's going to be really interesting. It's still in Arsenal's hands very much. It really is. But I think some of our players are hitting form at the right time. Harry Kane is just producing numbers game after game now, and like I said, that's 14 in not however many games it is. He's breaking records. That's only going to be good for him. Kulusevski just looks good game on game. The defence has looked way more solid since Dyer's been back, you know, bar the 3-0 loss against Manchester United, where, you know, I wouldn't really put it down to our centre-backs as a whole. I think they've defended well throughout these games. Obviously, we know against Manchester United there was, you know, the Cristiano Ronaldo show. But I think that was more, we could have defended better as a team against Manchester United. Not so much, I don't really think you can put it down to just the 3 centre-backs for the errors against them. There was pressing over the pitch that just wasn't quite good enough. So look, it's going to be a huge game. I can't stress it enough, absolutely massive. But I'm impressed tonight. You know, let me know in the comments below how many of you were there for the game, how many of you actually managed to watch it. I'm sure there's going to be many of you out there that would have watched it on some dodgy streaming sites or apps, as we see all the time. But yeah, good performance. It keeps up with this win-loss, win-loss routine we've got going on. Got to break it at some point. I keep saying it, we've got to break it at some point. But nonetheless, good display against Brighton. Graham Potter, good manager. If any of you have been around on this channel for a while, you know exactly how I feel about Graham Potter as a manager. And if Brighton had a decent striker, then they'd be a much better outfit and higher up the table, no doubt. And they're not having the worst season. They've just hit a bad spot of form. I'm sure they'll come out of it, and I'm just glad it wasn't against us today. So thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that one. Don't forget to leave your comments below and support the video with a like. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel to help the channel grow, which means more Spurs fans can get tuned in and listen to me waffle on about Spurs. But yeah, thanks for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care. And until next time, come on you Spurs.